Hello, American Dreammakers. It is Dina Krogadal, and I am live from Salisbury, North Carolina today. And I'll tell you what, yesterday there was a crazy, crazy storm that came through, heavy rains, heavy winds, tornado warnings, and yet it didn't stop. There were some ladies who were really diehards, and they came out to a lunch and learn event and they were completely blessed. So I just applaud Salisbury, North Carolina. If you haven't been here, you absolutely should make a trip and see how beautiful North Carolina is. So today I have a very special guest, and he's from North Carolina as well. And his name is Chad Free. You guys, he is a fantastic guy doing some amazing things around here and throughout. So I cannot wait to bring him on, but let me go ahead and play the intro video and we will get him on shortly. All right, you guys, welcome to American Dreammakers. We have Chad Free in the house. Well, in the internet house, in the house with us. And he has so many things going on in his life and making the world a better place. And so, without further ado, I actually met Chad through other connections and through Tim's story, through Coach Bert. We've got a number of connections. So, he's a mover and a shaker. And so, let's bring him on and let's hear what Chad Free is up to. Hey, Chad.
Hey, how are you? Hey, everybody.
I'm doing well. Thanks, Chad. Thank you so much for coming on American Dreammakers. American Dreammakers show is all about, I believe that the American dream belongs to all of us. Not only can you achieve it, but you can go beyond. And Chad, you are one of those that not only are you living the American dream, but you're helping to make the American dream happen for other people. And so that's why we absolutely are excited to hear you talk about all the things that are happening and going on. But first, we want to know, who is Chad Free and where do you live?
So, I consider myself a high-tech redneck. All right, let's just get that out there because you're going to be like, this is a country bumpkin from South Carolina, and you've hit the nail on the head. That's who I am. But listen, I'm married to my beautiful bride. It'll be 20 years this year. And I've got two amazing boys. One is 18. His name is Clayton. And then I've got a 14-year-old. His name is Jackson. And I'm really blessed. I'm blessed with my family here. And, that's the most important thing in my life. Number one is my relationship with Jesus. And, but my family, they are everything to me. And there was a time where I couldn't even talk about them without getting choked up. I'm doing a lot better, but I certainly love my family. And I'm a wealth strategist. I've worked with the ultra wealthy for years and years and years. And I just recognized that the financial industry focuses on wealth externally and, increasing assets and increasing your net worth. And what I found is, look, you can do that very easily. Some can, some can't. But no matter what, a lot of folks are void on the inside. And I know that because that was me and that was my story for a long time. And I believe true wealth is an abundance of everything you value. And it's both internally and externally. And so that's my mission, is to really bring financial literacy to the masses, because I feel like most people don't know all their options. We've been kind of programmed that there's only one or two ways to do this thing. And that's not the case. But also I want people to realize that money should be your resource, not a source. It should be income for influence or income for impact. And that's my mission. That's my calling. And I feel like that's what God's called me to do. And I can't stop talking about it. So that's
Wow,
who I am.
that's really awesome. I love that you said that wealth isn't just about the dollar sign. Um, Tell me, Chad, what made you decide to become a wealth strategist? Like where at what point in your life, I know you talked about that you had learned and changed, but there must have been some sort of pivotal moment in your life that you're like, people need to learn and hear about this. So tell us a little bit about that I guess road that you took to get there.
So I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life, and um, always climbing those ladders and very successful in many different areas. But I would say that I was a successful failure. Even Coach Burt has mentioned that term before. Climbing the wrong ladders that are or climbing the ladders that are against the wrong building. And really I was doing doing so that one day I can be, right? So I got caught up in the hustle and really trying to get to a certain level financially. And then I would focus on who I was supposed to be, right? So I actually had, when I said I worked with the ultra wealthy, I had a concierge type company where I took care of folks' homes up in these very high end neighborhoods, and I kind of was their eyes on their property while they were away. And so if storms came through, I would go in, make sure everything was good to go. And then, that had its ups and downs. And then I got into uh, the wealth business and financial business. And I always wanted to know, well, what are they doing that we don't know about? And so I kept peeping on, and I found exactly what I was looking for. And when I found it, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Why don't so many people know about this? And I'll just be blunt. It's because it's not profitable to the financial industry, right? But yet, most of these financial titans are the number one consumer for these strategies for themselves and their family. So I knew there was something odd. I knew that was kind of, I was going to make it a mission to disrupt that status quo and kind of show people what all is available to them instead of them living their life chasing rates of return and that being the only way that they can grow wealth. Um, so that's kind of how I got into the business, and certainly I've had some big revolutions since being in the business, which has got me on the trajectory that I'm on now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome that you saw a need and you saw that not everybody was benefiting necessarily. Like you said, you found that the financial that they didn't want us to know about it because people were making money off of us. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I tell you, let's unpack it real quick. I've got a story just for an example. A gentleman, I actually wrote a book called Wake Up Your Retirement back in 2017, and I kind of lay out some of these things. And I had a guy reach out to me, what do you know that I don't know? And we went back and forth, had a lot of mutual friends. And so he was about 42 at the time. And this is kind of what I do. The industry keeps you focused on accumulation. You've heard, hey, I want that big nest egg, right? The nest egg. Man, if I could have $1 million, $2 million, whatever, then I'm set, right? Well, you don't carry the nest egg around to the grocery store and to the mall and say, hey, yeah, oh, that's mine right there. And don't forget the Snickers bar and the chewing gum. I should have enough in my front pocket. All right. So listen to what I tell you. That's what happens a lot of times when people retire. They're pulling freely from that nest egg. Then they see the nest egg dwindling and they realize, wow, I need to get on some sort of systematic pay for myself. And that's when people, they were never told about this, but yet they discover it. The traditional rule of thumb is 4% of your nest egg is what your paycheck should be. So let's break that down. $1 million, that's $40,000 a year is what you're supposed to live on before taxes. So we did a model and a projection once I educated him on this. And if he would have kept his money where it was, he was looking at age 65, an income, a projected income of around $31,000 to $33,000 a year. And this is him not putting any more money in. Well, we built him a model that he's going to be able to take $105,000 to $108,000 out, and it's tax free. So let's fast forward a little bit. He goes back to his advisor and he asks for his account numbers. His advisor asks, "What are you going to do?" He begins to tell him, and his advisor proceeds to say, "Oh, well, we could have done that for you." Let me tell you something. That's 3 times as much. And even if, I don't think I would have admitted that, right? But fast forward 5 years later, which is about 6 months ago, their paths crossed again. And this advisor actually voluntarily told my client now, "Hey, guess what? I put all my money in that strategy too." But yet he is not available. He's not able to market that strategy because it's not profitable to the business and to the firm. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I get pretty fired up about that.
Yeah, well, I'm rightfully so
Yes.
because what that says is that I'm looking out for me first, not you necessarily. And so that kind of bites you in the, wait a minute, you mean I could have benefited more for my retirement. You had information and you chose not to give it to me because you wouldn't have made as much money off of me by giving me that information. I can understand fired up.
Yeah. Yeah. And not all advisors are like that, because when they're brought into the whatever company they're in, they're learning, they're hungry, and they're being trained a certain way. So not all people know about these other strategies that's available, but a lot do. And those are the ones that, it's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate that they're looking out for their pocketbook and not in favor for their clients.
So as you've gone on your journey and you learned, I know you said you were inspired as you were working with the wealthy and helping them with their homes. Have you had coaching? Have you had mentorship along the way, as you've built this out to get to a place where you can help others?
No, I'd never had that. I was trying to figure out on my own. And I think that was the problem. I couldn't see my own picture, like Coach Burt says, because I was stuck inside the frame. I think when things changed for me, and this is my message, this kind of kickstarts my mission, I guess you could say. About 3 years ago, I finally landed a position to where I was putting together financial models for other advisors across the country who had extremely high net worth, ultra wealthy clients. So I actually would assist in putting those models together. I've put together a model for an NFL team football owner. I've put one together for the CFO of one of the largest retailers in the world. I wish I could throw that out on the media, but that's close enough to narrow it down, right? But in that position, I began to experience some things where I didn't feel on the up and up with some of the folks that I was working with. And this is the dream position that I had always longed for. I can only do so much myself, but this was going to allow me to use other people's efforts and leverage more people to really help me to get to my financial goals. So this kind of starts my story. I went all in on that. I actually left behind my individual practice to go all in on that opportunity because I truly felt this door was open and hey, let's go, right? So I put it like this. They started me out on a very small pay, but the commissions began to get so bright, if you will. And when I say bright, it was like a tunnel, right? And the light at the end of the tunnel kept getting bigger and bigger as cases got closer to closing. See, these were long-term processes before they would actually close and then pay commissions out. So I literally had to take 2 personal loans just to get me to that next level, to get to that light. And that light became my source that kept driving me. Don't give up. It's getting brighter and brighter. And eventually, it's up to 110, 120, $30,000. And I would tell my wife over and over again, hey, honey, it's coming. It's coming. And I found myself going to bed with just so much stress on my shoulders. And I couldn't get a fresh breath of air almost because I was so shackled by finances. And I'm the financial guy, right? But it literally was controlling me. It was controlling my emotions. And so at first, when I started feeling that conviction, I kind of wanted to suppress it because I didn't want to rock the boat in this role that I've been placed in. And then I really feel like the conviction got so much that I would be dishonoring God if I didn't address it. So that's what I did. I addressed my concerns as professional as I could. And that was on a Sunday. I'd spoken about my concern, and I was assured that, hey, we'll work it out, we'll rework something, and blah blah blah. Well, the next morning, which was a Monday morning, I start getting texts from people inside that office wondering, where are you going, Chad Free? We love you. Why'd you resign? All right. So I'm sitting here wondering too. I don't know when I resigned. But the truth of the matter is, I got let go because the dynamic that the folks that I was working with, well, one person that I was working with, he had more seniority over me, and they didn't really want to listen to my side. I just asked for a request to be, if this person said it, it was as good as me saying it. And so some of the things that were being said is not as good as me saying it. Right? So the truth of the matter is that light at the end of the tunnel went out. The very thing that kept me going and driving, the 110, 120, $130,000, the light went out. So now the financial guy is completely broke. Completely broke. And that was devastating to me.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because you're right. Here you were building your life, and you said you took out personal loans to start this up. So that had to have been I guess that's probably where the knots came in, is that you put it all on the line
Yeah, that's right.
for
That's right.
but what I'm hearing is that you did it because you felt a calling from the Lord to do something
Yes,
different. Is that correct?
to bring that up, things happen sometimes to make changes, and I believe that. So I'm going to tell you, this is where everything changed for Chad Free, right here. What I'm about to share with you. Once I realized that light had went out, and once I realized that the financial guy is financially broke, once I realized that, I was absolutely crushed, devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do. See, I'm an established person. Like I said, I've got a beautiful wife. I have a family, 2 boys, and I literally don't know what my next step is. So I go to my closet. I shut the door. I'm by myself, and I literally start crying my eyes out. I busted out crying. I started weeping. I found myself in a fetal position crying out to God. What am I going to do? I need you. I need you. And let me tell you something. Make no mistake that if you had asked me at any point in time, do I depend on God? I would have absolutely told you yes. But let me tell you, I didn't know what it was like to depend on God until I absolutely had to depend on God. And that was a moment when everything switched. I needed him in my life more than ever. And I heard him speak to me. I heard it. I can't say that it's audible, but very clearly. I created you on purpose for a purpose. I heard that. And I started gathering myself just a bit and started, really, really wanting to be still. And I knew that was coming from him. So I longed to hear something else. Well, what else do you have? I need you, Lord. I need you. And Zena, I'm telling you, it's almost like he sat me down in a chair and he showed me a slideshow of my life. And see, my dad had a house paid for when he was 35 years old. In his late 40s, he retired from his main business. And he did not put this on me. But at some point in time in my life, I became obsessed with wanting to be exactly like my dad. And as I was watching that slideshow, it was like, again, it wasn't audible, but it was like, you've been trying to be your dad your entire life. And because you hadn't hit the markers that he hit in his life, you're living your life a panic mode. And I can't bless somebody that you're trying to be. I want to bless somebody that I created you to be. And it was at that moment in time that not just my shoulders did I feel a relief. See, it was coming out of my pores because I didn't even realize this is what I was doing. Wow. I was living my life in the future, counting on this deal to come through, this partnership to come through, this level of income to finally happen. And then things will be all right. But I was missing the blessings that were right in front of me. And let me tell you something. I got off of that floor. My heart was broke, but he did something new in my life. And that's what it took. It was the worst time of my life, but I'll never, ever, ever, ever trade it for anything, because that is what has transformed me into who I am now. And money is not a source. God is my source. He's no longer even a tab open on my computer. He's my operating system. I mess up every single day. But let me tell you, I've never, ever experienced true peace, true abundance. I'm so present right now. I am so intentional with my beautiful bride, with my kids. And here I go. I get choked up. God has transformed my life. And I am rich. I am wealthy as they come. Oh, man. I've got that internal wealth. And because of that, God has showed me all he wanted me to do is step into my purpose. And that's to be Christ-like. And I have attracted people just from my story, just from me sharing my heart, that it's all God. And that right there, I got off of the floor of my closet, and my bank account was still broke, but my spirit was overflowing. And God has given me abundance of resources that I chased for years. but I know where its place is in my life now. And for that, I'm so thankful.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that's it.
I
That's my divine disruption.
I am so glad you shared that, Chad. I mean, wow. And the shirt you're wearing, "Wake Up," so appropriate because what you're saying is exactly what God tells us, to seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things are added onto you. And you're right, we miss the boat so many times. So many of us miss the boat so many times. We're so busy trying to make a living to pay the bills, and we forget, I don't have time to spend time with God. I don't have time to be on my knees. I don't have time for any of that because I'm so busy. As soon as I wake up, I got to get on my phone. I got to get check my emails. I got to do this because I need to get the paycheck today, because if I don't get the paycheck, I can't put food on the table. My family's going to starve. My bills aren't going to get paid. The electricity's going to get turned off, and all those things go through our heads. And
Yes.
I love this testimony that you're giving, that God had to bring you to a place where you fell on your face, and the
Yep.
only source you had, like you said, was not money, because you were broke beyond broke. You weren't even, it
Yep.
sounds like you weren't even broke, you were beyond broke.
Yep.
And and as soon as you fell and you surrendered and said, "God, I need you. You're the only one that can fix this deal." Basically, you're the only one that can fix this deal.
Yep. Yep. That's
Wow.
exactly right. That's exactly
That
right. 100%.
that's fantastic. And here you are teaching others the same thing. I mean, you're
Yes.
teaching them, yes, to build their wealth, but wealth is so much more than money, like you said. Wealth is about
Yes.
aligning yourself with God's purpose, and then those things
Yep.
will fall in. And then I'll teach you strategies and tools to do the things that that make whatever our system, money system, work here. But first, you
Yeah.
got to get yourself right. Wow,
That's right.
Chad, that is
That's right.
amazing. I want
It's
to
a
put
game
Chad's
changer.
I want to put Chad's website on here for you all. Mindsetandmoneyrevolution.com, because when you guys are listening to this, if you're listening to this right now, and you're like, I want to know more, I want to talk to Chad, get a hold of Chad, because obviously he's been through it, and I can hear from the genuineness of his heart that he is a man who is a servant to all. Um, so if you want to get a hold of Chad and talk more, absolutely do it. Mindsetandmoneyrevolution.com. Chad, this is awesome, because here you are, you're going to be a panelist on Amplify Your Life Women's Summit. And I know people are probably like, why is a man going to be on the panel for Women's Summit? Well,
I
just
was
wait.
asking the same question. Hey, I asked the same question. How is this going to work?
Well, we're very, it's a new age, Chad,
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
No, seriously, so he's going to be on this panel, and guess what the theme of the panelists, are going to be speaking about? Faith over fear. Now, I want viewers and listeners to hear this out. God, he works all things. He works all things out here. So as we were praying and looking, and who are we going to fill these slots, and making our plans, God directs our steps. And I personally have heard of Chad's name. I know him from the circle of people that I've been in networking with, mentorship, minding with, that sort of thing. But I personally did not know Chad himself. But yet I believe God handpicked Chad to be on this panelist for this story right here, because he has obviously lived through where faith had to overcome fear. That was the only way to get out of that fear mode. And why a man on a women's panel, women's summit? Well, again, that is God's idea. Tim Story talks about there's good ideas and there's God ideas. He says that so many times. And I'm going to say this, I believe, is a God idea, because men are very important. Women, I know we're American women, and we're told that we don't need a man in our life to be successful. We don't need a man to do this and a man to do that. So we have this whole culture of women who are trying so hard to do things without a man, or to not think that the man has to be part of the equation other than making babies. You know what you I hope you kind of get what I'm saying, that we've almost have brought men down to a level where they're not as important. Like we kind of went the opposite. We went from, men trying to dominate women, and now it's almost shifting where women are like, no, we don't need you. I can do everything on my own. I don't really need a man. But the reality is, Chad, for a woman to truly live in her full potential as the woman that God has designed, men are absolutely needed, because that was in the equation from the very beginning in Genesis. And that a man's support, a man's help, a man's contributing qualities is ultra important to a woman's empowerment, because you've been married. And I would love for you to be on our other podcast called Partners to Powerhouse, where we're talking about marriage stuff for entrepreneurs. And I think you and your wife would be such amazing to really have on as guests. But you as a man, would you say that when you have been able to truly step into that place of truly being the husband that God has called you to be, what did you observe in your wife? What happened to her?
I can't believe you're asking me this question, because it has become exactly what your expectation of my answer is to be. But let me tell you, and this is where maybe I can talk about this at Amplify, but I had my revolution, right? I'm a different guy. And I tell people, I describe it like, if you ever watch Dumb and Dumber, when they put them tuxedos on and they come out and start clogging, like, I'm the new guy. That's what I felt like I was doing with my wife, right? Like, I wanted so desperately to introduce her to the new Chad Free that is present and that's intentional. And here's the fact of the matter. She looked at me in a loving way, and she's always been my biggest cheerleader and my rock. But she looked at me and she said, Chad, just because you've had your revelation, your evolution, doesn't mean that I've had mine. You see, what happened is men, all that hustling was for the benefit of my family. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I thought I was benefiting my family. But here's the deal. She had to change to be able to live and accept who I'd become. So that person that was hard and hustling, and he became less affectionate. He became less present. And she realized that. So guess what happened? She kind of had to back up to protect her heart. And let me tell you something. When I found that out, that was probably the second most devastating thing, is realizing what I'd done there. And I knew then, you know what? All I can do is be who I was called to be, and continue to be consistent and pursue her and be intentional with my relationships, and just trust that God is going to, just make things strong as it was once before. And he has done that. He has done that. But I think this is something that women need to hear. A lot of times men don't realize that that's what's going on, because we think we love our family. Everything we do is for our family, but we just never been able to wake up. We were only seeing it one dimensional, and that's that external wealth. So wow. Things are good. Things are good. They've getting better, but initially I had to win back that trust and that love, and I had to pursue her. So I'm glad you asked me that, because I think a lot of people miss that. And if they know that that's happening, maybe that can help them take an inventory on the relationship with their spouse.
Absolutely, and I bet you saw a woman come out of her that was there all along, just was buried because she was so busy trying to survive and saying, "Where's my husband? Where's the man I married? What happened?" Because
Yep.
the truth is, you're right. Wealth is so much more than the dollar sign. Because the truth is, yes, we do need to pay the bills, and yes, we would like to eat food and do a little shopping. But the truth is, what we really want is our husband present.
Mm,
What we
yep.
really want, that missing piece is that the provider isn't just about money. I love this, Chad. I love that you are out on a mission teaching this, because that is that missing piece that we truly, as man and woman, need each other. That's why God designed it from the very beginning. He knew
Yep.
we need each other, and we do better together. Yes, you alone can succeed. Yes, your wife alone can succeed, because I'm sure she is a superstar, because I don't think you would have married somebody who wasn't. But
That's
you
right.
together but you together are a powerhouse that is going to leave
Yes.
an impact and a legacy. And so that is the American dream, you all, is that not only are you successful, in your business, because that's kind of what we look at, the American dream. We look at the outer, like you said, the house,
Mm-hmm.
the home, the whatever, the status. But like you said, but the true American dream is being able to be whole, to be
Yep.
happy on the inside, to have those things in alignment on the inside as well as the outside. And so thank you so much for being that American dream maker. Thank you for learning what it was going to take to be an American, to live the American dream. And faith is huge. Faith is a huge part of that American dream. Um,
Yes.
and when you found it, it sounds like you found your life. When you were able to lose the life you had here, you gained an eternal life that now also reflects and manifests here on earth as to the abundance that Jesus came to give. Wow, my friend, that is amazing. I'm going to put up the amplifyyourlife.live website on here too, because ladies and gentlemen, I want to say Amplify Your Life is truly going to be a place where women are going to grow, learn, and live in the design that God has placed on a woman's life. And that absolutely is the vision that God has given for this summit. And it is a 1.5 day event, one plus a half day bonus event. Let's just put it that way. Uh, Come and hear. We've got phenomenal speakers. So I want you to click on this link and check it out. Chad Free is going to be there. I'm going to encourage you to also consider purchasing the ultimate VIP ticket so that you can also have more time with Chad, so that you can talk to him and be in the same room. Tim's story talks about, the green room. Sometimes it's the green room is where, not sometimes, it's the green room is where the magic happens. It's not even sometimes, it happens, because when you're around people of the same mindset, of the same spirit as Chad Free. And I'm going to tell you, that is the case for this summit, that there are women and a few handpicked men by the Lord that are going to be there to truly lift women up. It's going to be amazing. So, women, get your tickets, bring a girlfriend. Men, if you are listening to this, consider getting your wife, your mother, your sister a ticket to come to Amplify Your Life. And yes, it is in Salisbury, North Carolina, which is just outside of Charlotte. Let them have a weekend of girl connecting with other women who want to be better, who want to live better, who want to just be the daughter that God has called them to be, so that she can be the wife to you, she can be the mother, she can be the daughter, that she knows is deep down inside, but the life chaos has sometimes muddled it. So, and let me put down here too, if you use Chad 20 when you purchase your ticket, you get 20% off. And I do want to encourage you to do that this week, because the prices are about to go up. It is January 27th, and it is a Saturday. Yes, I know it's in the middle of winter, but so what? We're going to be inside. Um, Chad, I thank you again so much for you coming on and sharing your heart and sharing, um, obviously, the love and passion that you have for humanity, sharing the love of Jesus with all of us. As we wrap this up, is there anything else you would like to leave us with?
Yes, I'm very excited that if you go to that website, mindsetandmoneyrevolution.com, my book is about to be released. So you can go on there and pre-order that book, and it is literally taking you through my journey of how I had a mindset revolution that caused a money revolution. And now I'm experiencing a wealth revolution. And that wealth revolution is understanding that 80% or more of wealth is internal, and how to build wealth from the inside out. And so I would invite you to go to that website. You can download chapter 1 for free there. You can get your copy when it comes out in March. And I think we've got it set up to where I'll be signing that and sending that to you. So I'm super excited. This is my whole heart, my whole being in this book. This is my whole story. And I'm going to be doing a lot of coaching and everything just around this, on how you can experience true wealth by stepping into your purpose. It will unlock the potential. You'll become present. You'll become profitable and ultimately have peace that only God can give you. So that's it. Thank you for having me. I'm so pumped about Amplify, but thank you for having me on your show.
Well, I'm so pumped to absolutely see you in person and get to know you even more, Chad. Many blessings to you. And yes, mindsetandmoneyrevolution.com. Absolutely. And Chad will have some of his books that amplify your life. So if you, are not getting on the website in Orient, be sure to come to Amplify, and he can even sign it in person. The author and the man behind the book. So, um, Chad, I know Chad's like, what? But
Oh,
you guys, this was a great time with you. And I always say, my gosh, this time goes by so fast. I'm always just like, wow. I guess time goes by fast truly when you are having a good time and when it is a
have
great
fun.
conversation. So
Yeah.
you guys, if you guys are listening to this on the replay, let us know and then share this out. This is a message that many people need to hear, because that is so true. Learn about the wealth that is on the inside, and then the rest will be taken care of. And Chad obviously has a lot of knowledge on how to grow your spiritual life as well as your financial life. So absolutely get in touch with him. You are going to love him. And okay, well, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I will see you a little bit later, Chad, and
Okay.
we'll chat soon. Okay, have
Sounds
a good
good.
one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. It was an amazing interview. Thank you so much for being here today. And yes, absolutely share this out, get the message out. And if you haven't gotten tickets to Amplify Your Life, please do so and get Chad's book. That's going to be, gosh, I'm going to get Chad's book. So for sure, you guys take care, be blessed, and we will see you soon. Okay.